Welcome, folks. I would like to talk about belief systems. When you're entering into something that is new, there's a tendency to take those things that you have come to believe as being true. In a lot of cases, it's just belief. It's not knowing, it's just believing. And sometimes because belief can be so strong, it can overshadow your feelings. And so you can connect your feelings to that system of belief. And that can dictate whether or not you're able to receive new information. What I would encourage anybody here to do is anytime you're running across something new that you are directed, you can feel it within your spirit, you're directed there, give it space so that you can actually see what's really there. Not having any judgment or any preconceived idea about what that is. Just being able to embrace the information for what it is. So it's important to be able to take your system of belief and just for a while, set it on the shelf. Just put it aside for a little while, and then this is going to allow you to be able to be open. Now, I understand this is not necessarily something that's easy for us to do. I can give you an example for myself, plenty in fact, where I wasn't ready for certain information because of my conditioning and the way that I believed in certain things. And we're all, I'm not going to use the word guilty, but you understand what I mean by that. We all have that in common, okay? So I would, as an example to further that, I would come across something early on in my life, mainly is when this occurred with me, where I would come across something and it's like because of my system of belief, it would interfere with me being able to see clearly what that was about. And so I would dismiss it. And then later, a couple years or whatever, I was re-exposed to that again, but now I'm in a better state, in a better condition, more open. Okay, I'm in a more open space within me to be able to just, see it for what it is. And therefore, at that point, it allows for growth on my behalf, right? We've all experienced this in one form or another, right? So when it comes to these techniques and what I'm doing here, I don't really expect anybody to truly understand this because there hasn't been enough information, and this really requires a workshop where I can communicate with people directly in real time. It's really difficult to be able to do this through a video and I'm talking to you. It's one directional. So I have to kind of feel into it, how I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and the way that I'm going to say it. It becomes quite, a challenge and a juggling of, what ifs, what if. So some things I've taken for granted in respect to what people or how they would perceive certain information. As an example, the electromagnetic spectrum, visual light. And if you look at that and you look at the chakra or the dimensional band colors, they're exactly the same. Is that a coincidence? No. So I took it for granted that everybody knows that, at least within the circles that I'm involved with on my channel, right? However, they don't. And there's a lot of other things that can just, little small things that can just detour oneself's attention. As an example, I'll expound on something very important here. And I knew it was an issue because within my research, I've seen how obsessed certain people can be about tunings. So let me just say this about tunings, all right? This is approximation in relationship to, that is the pitch, to that of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is dimensional bands, and that's what I'm working with here. Okay? It's not about 432 being the divine tuning and everything, or 440 being the evil tuning. Everything here in this reality field that we're experiencing, this world, this planet, this universe, universe 1, octave 1, is fallen. It is in the process of decomposition. Okay? Does that mean I want to vibrate with the earth? I'm already on the earth. I'm already here. And the reason why I'm able to be here is because I am in sync with the earth. But for me, I want to rise above it. Because, as an example, when we're talking about tunings, if I go from 440 to 432, it feels like I'm being drugged down into the mud. That's my feeling. But if I tune to 444, I feel elevated. So, tunings, let's get over that, okay? Because that's not really what this is about. This is just, you're using a tone generator to assist you. And these are approximations that are close enough. And the more you get into this and more I start to explain the process of these techniques and the training required, you'll get it. So, give it some time, right? Don't come to conclusions quickly, okay? Take that belief system, set it on the shelf. You can always pick it back up again, all right? But for now, let's just put it on the shelf, okay? So, when it comes to vibratory harmonization, what do I mean by that? Should I define that more? And that's what I'm going to do here. My definition, that's the term I came up with, vibratory harmonization, is frequency pulsation within the body. And the technique for this is in order to maximize frequency pulsation within the body. Okay? So we're going to go over that. All right? This is going to be the first video for this, and I'm going to focus on that. Just that in itself. Okay? It's better to show you than try to explain it. As you can see, I'm not singing. I'm just vibrating. And what I'm doing, the clef of my mouth, right? I'm projecting sound up into that clef, and it's creating vibration within my sinus cavity, which is creating vibration within my spine and my, upper area here and on down, okay? And this is the technique that I want you to practice before you can begin the techniques, okay? And you don't need to have a tone generator for that, okay? The tone generator is to assist you very specifically, okay? And that's what that's about, all right? And, but again, doing this technique, what you're looking to do is to maximize vibration within the body. So you can regulate that. So again, I'm going to do that, and you'll notice that it may get louder, okay? Here we go. Actually, it starts to feel really good, doing that, and the whole body starts to vibrate, and you start feeling lighter. Here's the thing. Ultimately, once you're able to do this and you do it regularly, and it sounds funny, and if you're around your family and they like laughing at you doing silly things, then you can entertain your family with this because you're just practicing it, right? You don't need a whole lot of concentration for this, but this is developing the technique, right? and you're gonna feel that vibration. Then you don't really want to push too hard, because then you're going to start using your lungs with this, and you don't want to do that. You just you'll be able to reach a certain point of maximum vibratory consistency, and you don't want to go any further than that. It's fine. It's not so much being louder, it's about maximizing vibration within the body, okay? And then once you reach that point, okay, you know where that threshold is at. You can feel it, and you can tell within your voice and what you're doing. You go, okay, because you want to remain comfortable with what you're doing. It has to be comfortable and relaxed, okay? So once you reach that maximum vibration thing, you want to be able to hold it, right? You want to, the longer that you're able to hold the vibration, the better, okay? But that's what this is about. It's developing the technique to be able to do the techniques, okay? So that's very, very, very important, and you can do that. You don't have to you don't have to have the tone generator for that in order to practice that, and you can do that regularly. And here's the thing, it also has its benefits just to do that. When you do that, you can sit there and go into a state of altered consciousness, actually, while doing this, okay? And which should reflect on the idea how much more powerful it will become once you're able to direct the energy, okay? Because when you are able to control the vibration in the body like this and be able to hold it for, a considerable length of time, which is much more beneficial, and that's the whole point, is so that you can hold it in the body for a period of time. And in this stage of relaxation, it allows for you to very specifically focus, and you can use imagery or intend the imagery to be there. Visualization, intending it to be there and being able to actually visualize it is really the same thing. It is the same thing. It's intention. And once you're able to hold that vibration, you're able to move it now. And so once you do that, and that's important to be able to hold it within your root chakra. It's not about really having it here. The resonation is occurring here within your pineal area, so this is really helpful to that. But you want to be able to move it down so you are rooted and grounded. So what you want to do is, ultimately what we're going to be doing is clearing our vertical column. We're going to allow for energy flow. And you'll feel this, just like you feeling the vibration in the body. You'll be able to feel it within these certain locations. And once you get it into your root chakra and you hold it there long enough, and you want to be able, here's the other thing, you want to be able to feel it in the most sensitive areas within your body, such as the example within the root chakra, your tailbone. That's connected to your anus, and that's a very sensitive spot. That's very important for you to be able to feel it, because sensation is very significant when it comes to this, okay? And it creates a stimulation within the tailbone and the area, and it starts to move itself up. If you're doing it here and you're not moving the energy down, it's not going to clear your column. It's just going to stay in one area. And that's really the problem that we have here. We're not having it flow through our vertical column, and that's what these exercises are for. It's for clearing, these dimensional bands. So it first begins with your root chakra within the body, and then you can feel the energy move up. Sometimes it will just move up by itself, but you can direct it, okay? I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, and if I continue, I will. And that's not something I want to do, so I will cut this off right here and say, practice that, okay? And then the next installment that I do, you'll be ready for what that is, okay? So I'm going to give this some time. I'll give it a week or so, and then I'll look to do the other video, which will follow up with the actual application of techniques, okay? All right, thank you.